get tired styling.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot. Check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. 'Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yes, we are on, and it is a football Friday on a hump day. I mean, it is hump day, right?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
I mean, it is that. It's hump day. But it's also kind of like football Friday because we're done. You know what that means? We got to do this. I mean, why not? We can't go an entire week without having it. I'm talking about right there, baby. Gonna play this all the way until Sunday night when the Browns play the Ravens. Your phone lines are open today. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. You're going to need that text line as well because we have a turkey fecta for you today on 7329 TA Show. That's 732-982-7469. You text the text window. You call the call-in line. My personal Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. Might be some interesting stuff there that you like, including me ripping USA Hockey for screwing up their uniforms. Station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We're also on the Twitch and the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there as well. YouTube channel, 97.7 ESPN as well. Like and subscribe. Go to 977ESPN.com for links to all of that, plus all kinds of information. I'm talking about all of our scheduled games, everything that we're airing during the Thanksgiving holiday. Get the app. You need the app. You're going to need Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. Need all of that stuff. Let's bring this sucker home. Minutes of glory right there, baby. 2 minutes of absolute glory right there. On a hump day. On a hump day, no less. You're going to need all of those links because all of our streams. Madison Academy in the state semifinals after they beat Good Hope, and they're going to play Aniana Friday night at home for a trip to the state championship. So that game will be on air and on our primary stream. Alabama basketball is playing Iona tomorrow afternoon at 3 in that ESPN tournament thing. And assuming they win that game, as they'll play on Friday as well at 6. So that would be on Zone 2 while we have the state playoff game on our over-the-air signal. So you'd have to tune into Zone 2, which is beautifully clear, to listen to that. The Havoc. They have Teddy Bear Toss on Thanksgiving night. We'll have that one for you after the Alabama game. Steve Moulton, not David Moulton. Steve Moulton will be on that one. And then their special Iron Bowl night on Friday night at the VBC, where the team will wear Alabama-themed jerseys in the first period and Auburn-themed jerseys in the second period, and then you, the fan, will vote on what they wear in the third period. Still think they should wear Havoc gear in the third period, but they're going to wear Alabama gear because the fans are going to vote Alabama. Come on. I mean, let's be honest. Come on. I'll be on that game. So I'm stoked for that. I'll be covering that game. Today is our annual TransPerfect Music City Bowl Turkey Fecta. And you have a chance to make a major move on the grand trifecta big board. Is the image up? He looks through the window at Grizz. He says yes. He gives me 2 thumbs up. Says the image is up. So I suspect that we will have picks coming in to the text window here shortly. But we do have the phone lines open now, and I will take some picks in this first segment at 256-576-4977. Like I said, you have a chance to make a major move on the grand trifecta big board. Of course, this week I have Champion's Chicken and Havoc tickets for our weekly winners. But you know you accumulate points all season for hitting trifectas. Well, for our grand prize, we have for the grand trifecta winner, we have the VIP package at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. I'm talking about parking. I'm talking about club level seating. I'm talking about the pregame meal, all down there at the Music City Bowl. SEC versus Big Ten or ACC, probably Big Ten. Stoked for that. And for today's Turkey Fecta, I have got 4 big college rivalry games. And get this. This is where the shaking and the moving starts. You get 1 point on the big board for each correct pick. So if you only get 1 game right, you get a point. If you're Martinez and you know what I mean, and you're leading this thing with 5 points right now, you get 1 right, you get a point. If you get 2 right, you get 2 points. If you get 3 right, you get 3 points. If you can get all 4 of these games right against the spread, that's the way we roll. If you can get all 4 of these games right, we shall hook you up with 8 points. We're doubling your points. You don't get 4 points, you get 8 points. Somebody who's not on the board right now could win. I mean, not win, because it's not over. Somebody who's not on the board right now could take the lead. Now, for all we know, Matthew's going to get all 4 and get 8 points. We don't know. Those guys that are on the board already, like Wolverine Dan and Badger Larry and all those other guys that are on the board, they could hit it. Who knows? But the points start stacking up this week, next week with the conference championship games. So you're going to want to get into this one. This is what we have for you today. Egg Bowl.
Joey Freshwater.
They get 1.5 at Mississippi State.
We're pathetic. We're a bunch of pathetic front runners.
Ohio State.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I'll take the Suckeyes.
Lay 8.5 points at Michigan.
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it. So,
is it a trophy game? I don't even know. Is there a trophy for the game? I think it should be called the other game. Bedlam, Oklahoma.
I've always said I'd never recruit a white quarterback.
Barry Switzer on my son's show when he had a show in Nashville. Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Okie State.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, don't worry, I have it. No, I have it. I know what you want. I have it, okay?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I have it. And in the Iron Bowl.
I'm here. Everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been.
Roll all over their ass.
Minus 19.5 on the Plains.
Go compete in pickleball if you want to.
War Eagle.
So go ahead and get in. Coming up in a few minutes, Joey Blackwell from BamaCentral.com is in to preview the Iron Bowl and what being number 3 in the playoff poll means to Alabama. Does this decrease the chance of a 2-loss Alabama getting in? I think it does, definitely. But I have said all along I don't think that they go without beating Georgia anyway. So they're number 1 if they beat Georgia, and they're probably out. Depending on what happens, Oklahoma State, if they play 2 and split them, and then the next thing you know, you got a 2-loss Big 12 champ, they're out. What if Wisconsin beats the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game? They're out. Now you're comparing 2-loss teams. But Alabama fans shouldn't be thinking that way. Just win. Just win and you're in. We'll also get Joey's thoughts on the passing of the legendary Alabama writer Cecil Hurt, a friend of the show, a friend of all who covered the Tide on all of our shows. You know, when you would see Cecil, he would always remind me of the stereotypical frumpy sports writer. It was like the only thing missing was the fedora with the press pass stuck in the headband. He looked like Oscar Madison from The Odd Couple. I mean, the Jack Klugman one, you know, from back in the day. Or Walter Matthau in the movie. Not that remake from a few years ago with the guy from Friends in it. Not that guy. Talking about the original. Either Walter Matthau in a movie or Jack Klugman on the TV show with the Tony Randall. But unlike Oscar, this guy was not grumpy. He was friendly to a fault, and you could not be more Bama built than Cecil Hurt. We're talking about a guy that was born and raised in Tuscaloosa, went to the University of Alabama, spent his entire career covering the University of Alabama for the Tuscaloosa News. I mean, really? Just 62 years old. Not even a year older than me. Okay? Not to make it about me, but I'm just saying it puts it in perspective. 62 years old is young. To be honest, I thought he might have been sick for the last few years, last couple of years anyway. He did not look well. I thought he was sick. I would ask people, I would whisper, I'd say, something going on with Cecil? But it was actually pneumonia that got him, that he just got a couple of weeks ago. And it was not COVID related. It's kind of, you look at his timeline on the Twitter, I don't know what happens. That just lives on, right? You look on his timeline and you're looking at stuff that he posted a week and a half ago. Comments about the Henry Ruggs situation and so on. And now he's gone. Later on in the 11, Allan Bell Jr. from CBS Sportsline is in with his thoughts on the big football weekend. Over there in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax. Probably as confused as I am about what the hell day it is.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Hey, Grizz. What day is it today? Is it hump day or is it football Friday?
I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is football is tomorrow, so it must be football Friday.
Yeah, they're and we're not, and this is our last show of the weekend, so this must be football Friday.
It's basically our Friday. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yesterday was Thursday. Today is, yeah, you know what? I would vote for this. How about a 3-day work week? I mean, not that we're not going to be doing stuff Friday. I mean, I know you'll be in there Friday at some point, show probably. Up. I got to work Friday. I got to do the game Friday night.
I got a cot in the back.
Why don't you come to the game? Hey, do you want a cot? I got a cot that I didn't want. My son-in-law dropped off
Bring
a
it up
cot
next
here.
time in the back of the truck.
I'm like, what the heck? I don't need a cot. My son-in-law, he's like, I call him. I'm like, where's my wife? I couldn't find my wife. I lost my wife for a little while yesterday. It was like, I was on my way home from Huntsville, and she sent me a text, and she's like, I'm running over to Chrissy's for a minute. Okay. I get home. 3 hours later, I'm like, where's my wife? She's still at my daughter's house. And next thing I know, so she won't answer the phone or text. So my daughter won't answer the phone or text. I mean, why would they? So then I call my son-in-law. He didn't answer either, but he called me back. He's like, what's up? I said, where's my wife? I said, I don't know. She should be at home. I'm bringing a cot over. Yeah. Well, she was on the way. And they only live a mile down the road.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm bringing a cot over to your house. I'm like, I don't need no cot. I'm bringing your junk to my house. So I got a cot. I can bring a cot for you to sleep in the station.
No, that'd be set up. Put it right underneath the overhang next to my desk.
Let me knock out some guys. Let me knock out some calls here. I mean, I said I would do it, right? So I probably should.
I guess.
Since I said I would. Wolverine Dan is 3 points back of the lead in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl Grand Trifecta. He's up first. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, brother? I'm in my new work shed, putting up my dad's cabinets that I've had in my other house for 24 years. So my dad goes back up on the wall, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Do you think you could get a little closer to the phone, maybe? So we don't sound like you fell in a manhole or something?
Well, let me step out because it's echoing. Because I'm all right. I'm out of the thing. There you go. I'm out of the cave, man.
I tell you what, sounds good. It's a good day to be doing that kind of stuff.
I'm stoked, dude. Things are coming along real good. I made my pumpkin pie praline cheesecake. I got my turkey all set up. Dude, I'm set. I mean, I'm way ahead of the curve here, Tom. When I get up, I'm like you, Tom. Before the sun rises, I got to get up so I can see that sunrise. But
no, I love the sunrise.
I always say, listen,
best time of the day.
If I don't see the sunrise, do me a favor. Forgive me for whatever I've done, and let me have a one-way ticket up there, brother.
It is the best time of the day, early morning. There's no doubt about it. I was up at 4:30 this morning. I did not want to be up at 4:30 this morning. I have a vicious toothache, and it's bothering me. It keeps waking me up in the middle of the night. But, yes, I am. I rise before dawn every morning as well. Now, you're the mailman.
That's what I called you. I was up at 4:30.
Yeah, you're the mailman, so you're used to doing that. It'll probably never change. Just like Grizz.
Don't label me that. I'm the don't even say mailman. I'm just not that guy no more.
Yeah, but I mean, that never goes away from you. You know what I mean? It never. The Chubby Ninja wants to know if you're calling from the crapper because you sounded like you were so far away. No, he's not in the crapper.
I'll be on. What's his name? Chubby?
The Chubby Ninja. Yeah.
Hey, Chubby Ninja. Hey, I've called many shows on the crapper. I guess if you got to go, you got to go. That's Nation's calling, brother.
This is true. You have done that, haven't you?
Yes, I have. So, with that said, let me do the trifecta. And,
all right, here we go.
All y'all.
Ole Miss plus 1.5 at State.
I'll take the Running Rebels.
Joey Freshwater.
Ohio State minus 8.5 at your Wolverines.
Yes, again.
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it. So,
is there a trophy in this game or no?
Yeah, it's called the Losers Trophy, and I've had it for about 5 years now.
No, you've had it for longer than that. You've had it for about
it feels
12
like,
or 13 or 15 years.
Times two.
Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Okie State.
Oh, I'm going to take the State. I was going to do my Oklahoma song, but I'm going State.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And no tiebreaker now. This is just every game is worth a point. You hit them all, they're worth double points. Alabama minus 19.5 on the Plains.
Oh, you mean the game that doesn't really count?
Well, this is the real game.
Meaning our game. We got two teams that could potentially be in the playoffs.
The real big game, yeah.
Thank you. So it's good just to say that, okay?
Yeah.
And what was the pointage?
19.5.
It ain't enough. I'll take the evil empire. Without a quarterback, they ain't nothing over there.
You know, everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
All right, we got you in.
All right, my friend. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Maybe I'll see you Friday night. We'll see.
Yeah, come by the game Friday night. Come once in a while.
Man.
You are a season ticket holder. At least you can do is show up.
Oh, you're really harsh.
Yeah.
You need some time off. You need a little Thanksgiving.
No,
you know what I'm talking about.
I need some oxycodone is what I need for this toothache is what I need.
You better stay. It's called Jim Beam.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about going that route if I have to. All right, man. I'd be more of a Jack guy. But I got that bottle up there of some single barrel bourbon. Mark is up next. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, Tom?
You are, man.
In response to that last caller, you ain't heavy, man. You're my brother.
There you go. It's a good job by you. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just get out people's way today. We'll talk about the Braves sometime else. Give me the trifecta.
Ole Miss is plus 1.5 at State.
It's weird that I would ever say this is going to be a good game, but give me Ole Miss.
That used to be a really good game. Ohio State minus 8.5 at Michigan.
Minus 8.5.
Minus 8.5.
Yeah, not a big Harbaugh fan. Give me the Wolverines.
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it. So,
Oklahoma is plus 3.5 at Okie State.
Well, I've been on the Okie State outright bandwagon, so I'm going to go with them.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, so you got them. If they win, they play Baylor for the Big 12 championship game, and if they win that, maybe they're in the mix. And then Alabama minus 19.5 at Auburn.
God forgive me. Just for the spread, give me Auburn.
Go compete in pickleball if you want to.
All right, we got you in.
And by the way, I am a man. I am 40.
I'm a man, and I'm 61 and feeling a little older after Cecil Hurt passed away at 62. I don't like that.
Hey, can I say something real quick about Cecil?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
He definitely was. He was one of those hard-nosed. Like, I knew about him as a child because of his newspaper articles. Like, what that man did is impressive, and he went away way too soon.
Yeah,
he's got his reward.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and he was strong in his faith, and there's no doubt it just sucks, I mean, it just sucks to have a guy like that we thought would be covering his team for many more years, to be gone like that.
Yeah, he's got his fans. He's got generations of fans, so rest in peace. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man, appreciate you. Tremendous legacy. Will is next. Will, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I am fantastic.
I don't say you were talking about is it Hump Day or Football Friday, but I think when you were over at the Ump, it used to be Dead or Alive Wednesdays with Smokey Mike on figuring out which wrestlers were still dead or alive.
We did Dead Wrestler. Was it Dead Wrestler Wednesday? Yeah, we did Dead Wrestler of the Day Wednesday, and we would do Dead or Alive, and he would throw a name out there, and I would try to figure out if the guy was dead or alive without the internet.
I would say I actually interned over there with Cole and Archie, and then helped on your show a couple times. So I remember looking those up.
All right.
On Wednesdays.
All right, good stuff. Are they still on the air? I don't know. I don't know if they're...
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about it.
I don't know if that's...
To be honest.
No, my good friend Tony Mack is over there. He's very talented. Yeah. He's good over there.
Well, I'll say now that I'm over here in Gunnersville, I can only get 97.7. So
yeah, well, that's pretty much the way it is for most of the market. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the blowtorch. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So, and I'm happy to be here. All right, you ready to get in?
I'm in, man.
Ole Miss plus 1.5.
Give me the Land Shark Rebel Black Bears of Ole Miss.
Joey Freshwater.
Whatever they are, the Joey Freshwaters. Ohio State's minus 8.5.
Oh, Ohio State.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I'll take the Suckeyes.
You're the first one to get on them. Oklahoma plus 3.5 at Oklahoma State.
Oh, I'm a man. I'm 29. Give me the Pokes.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You guys are all so young. And Alabama is minus 19.5 on the Plains.
Oh, give me Bama.
He says, give me.
Roll all over their ass.
That's what he says. All right, well, we got you in.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks. All right, one more. Bama Joe. Bama Joe, welcome in. How are you? Okay. Well, if we lost him, I mean, we can go to the break. Or is he calling back in? Is that what's going on? Griz's face is way too close to the camera. He's leaning in there, answering the phone. His face all smashed up against the camera.
It's not fair. My camera's too close.
We'll get Bama Joe in, or we can take the break. Either way. Want to get Bama Joe in? Okay. Bama Joe, welcome in. How are you? Bama Joe, talk to me.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I believe I can win this thing. But first, I want to tell you something about that toothache. It won't fail you. If you just put some peroxide over there, just gargle some peroxide wherever that pain is, and you'll be good for a couple of days. You can get to the dentist.
Are you sure? Peroxide in my mouth?
Yeah, you can Google it. They got peroxide in products to tell you it's safe.
Really? Because I'm using Oragel and I'm using Tylenol, and I'm just hoping it goes away by tonight or tomorrow morning. Tonight's card night. Me and the boys played cards the night before Thanksgiving while the girls are making the pies and stuff. And I just don't want to be annoyed. I don't want to be more annoyed than I normally am. And and the thing is, I'll make a dentist appointment, and it'll be like for next week. And it's one of those deals. I get it like once or twice a year in this one tooth, and then it goes away. It's like I'll wake up and it's like totally fine, and it's gone, and then I don't go to the dentist.
I can tell you why peroxide works.
All right, I'm gonna look it up on the interwebs. Don't kill me.
Most dentists don't even give you pain pills. It's the infection that's hurt.
Yeah, it's
and
the infection.
Peroxide will reduce the infection.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. The infection, like seeping into my bloodstream or something, and then I'm gonna take the dirt nap. I don't want to do that. And then Grizz has to take the show over. So.
Okay.
All right, you want to get in on this deal?
I do.
Ole Miss gets 1.5 at State.
Ole Miss.
Ohio State's minus 8.5 at Michigan.
I'm taking the Wolverine.
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it. So,
Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Oklahoma State.
Going with State.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
And Alabama's minus 19.5 at Auburn.
Alabama minus 30.
I'm here. You know, everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
All right, we got you in.
Okay.
He might be right, by the way. I think they're going to roll in this one.
Oh, I thought you meant the peroxide in your mouth thing.
No, I don't. Have you ever heard of that?
I have never. I have no idea. I would not. I'm not a doctor. So if someone's a doctor and wants to call in and say, "Hey, don't do that,"
sounds dangerous.
We don't condone that. I mean, if it does help,
I take medical advice from my listeners. But Bama Joe sounds like a smart guy. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's get a break. Speaking of Joe, Joey Blackwell is coming up next. BamaCentral.com, and we'll talk Iron Bowl with him on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We know it's lonely at the top, but we don't mind.
National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Roll Tide. Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide head to Jordan-Hare Stadium for the 86th Iron Bowl. Our coverage begins at 11:30 on your home for Bama football.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home, doing whatever it is you do. Then, pow! The power goes out. Then what? Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50s-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little warmer today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Highs hanging out in the mid and upper 50s. Some of us could actually touch the lower 60s. I expect an increase in cloud cover as we head into the later part of the evening through the overnight. Therefore, temperatures really aren't going to fall off that much. Thanksgiving morning, we're starting the day in the upper 30s and lower 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So good, we're going to go with Friday football music. Since it's kind of Football Friday-ish on a Wednesday. Very much a Football Friday feel. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Already took a bunch of calls on the Friday trifecta. We'll get the phone lines opened up again in the next hour of the show, and you'll have your chance to jump in on that as well. But joining us now to talk about the upcoming Iron Bowl and what does it mean for Alabama to fall to 3 in the playoff poll on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is Joey Blackwell from BamaCentral.com, where they've got everything you need to know about Alabama, including that top 10 basketball team as well. Joey, welcome back. How are you?
Doing all right, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. And before we get into all of this, you're one of the younger guys obviously covering the Tide and been doing it for a few years, but we all loved and respected Cecil Hurt. I mean, the flat-out legend. Absolutely a legend, a guy that, Cecil and I he was just a little bit older than me. And, I from the day I arrived in the Tennessee Valley some 18 years ago, recognized immediately that he was the man. Just your thoughts and how that struck you as a young guy when you heard about the passing of Cecil Hurt.
Yeah, Cecil's one of those guys. He's molded a lot of being a mentor to a lot of young writers over the years. On going to school at the University of Alabama, most writers that ever become something intern at Tuscaloosa at one point or another. I unfortunately never had that opportunity, but he was very instructful, and I did, of course, work with him not for his 14 years, but worked beside him covering the beat, and he was always very generous with his time, and if you ever had a question, you could come to him, even if you didn't work with him. Very kind individual. I remember last year, we'd only spoken a couple of times, but we both went to cover the soccer game because that was the first Alabama athletics event to happen last year, prior to for the COVID season, and so everybody was there. And Cecil walks up to me out of nowhere and says, "Hey, are you covering Alabama football this year?" And I said, "Yes, so why?" He was like, "Oh, I was just curious." And he walks back to his seat, and I'm like, "Okay, that was pretty odd." But about 20 minutes, he comes back with a piece of paper, and he handed it to me, and he had written down all the best restaurant recommendations for all the road games. And he wanted to give it to me, and that's why he had been asking. And I think that kind of perfectly, shows what kind of heart that Cecil had. He was a very kind person, and obviously a really good writer, one of the best, and he will be sorely missed.
He was a sweetheart. He always reminded me of Oscar Madison, from The Odd Couple, when you saw him, because he would just, he didn't care. He was frumpy, and he was just cool enough to do that. I thought the respect level from Coach Saban was something that was significant, because, we'd be at SEC Media Days, and, there'd be, 400 people in the main room, and when Cecil asked the question, he would get addressed, almost by name by Nick Saban, and Nick Saban did post a comment as well about him. And when you have that kind of respect of the coaching staff and of the head coach, that says a lot. I think it tells you a lot about what kind of man he was.
Yeah, few people on the Alabama beat have ever commanded as much respect as Cecil did. And, when you're in a press conference with Nick Saban, obviously every time Saban opens his mouth, everybody quiets down because out of respect and to listen to what he has to say. But that's the same thing said for Cecil. If Cecil was ever the next person to ask a question and he knew he was going to ask, everybody quieted down because they wanted to know what question Cecil was going to ask, because he usually was a very impactful one. And even more so for us writers, I forget who wrote it yesterday, but it was very wonderfully written. Said that Cecil was the type of writer that other writers looked out for to try to, as soon as he wrote something, other writers would go and read it. And I think that's a really good way to kind of describe the type of impact that Cecil had on the Alabama beat.
Yeah, I thought he was sick, for the last year, because when you'd see him, he looked like he had lost some weight and things like that, and I thought there was something going on outside of it. But I guess this pneumonia just snagged him here in the last couple of weeks, because he was very active on Twitter and on his articles and everything, up to a week and a half ago or so.
Yeah, he's had some underlying health issues that I won't get into on here, but yeah, he had been sick over the past 6 months or so. I saw him in the press box for a couple of for a couple of football games, but then he stopped showing up, and that was initially what caused some concern, because obviously Cecil, he doesn't miss football games, and he certainly doesn't miss basketball games. And the fact that he wasn't there for basketball either was kind of a telltale sign that something was going on. And then, of course, we all saw on social media the post about him being hospitalized. And, this goes to show that you can go at any time, and anything can happen. And it's every day is a blessing, and we shouldn't take that for granted.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Joey Blackhall with us talking a little bit about Cecil Hurt. All right, he would want us to talk about the Iron Bowl. I mean, it's Iron Bowl week, and he would want to talk about this team. And before we get to the Iron Bowl, Arkansas, I never felt like the game – I was at the game. I never felt like the game was in danger. Even when Arkansas pulled within 6, it just didn't feel like it was ever in danger. But at the end of the day, you look at it, and around the country they look at it, and 42-35, and it's a 7-point win, and Alabama gives up a ton of yards to a team that doesn't throw the ball well, through the air, and all of those things. And certainly that, coupled with Ohio State's smothering defeat of Michigan State, results in Alabama falling to 3 and Ohio State moving to 2. In the playoff poll. I don't know what that means big picture, but it continues to be an issue with this pass defense, and I don't know if they play Ohio State it's liable to be, if they end up playing Ohio State in the playoff, it's liable to be one of these 120-point Big 12 games or something.
Yeah. No, it's I agree with you in that. I never felt like it was really out of control. I felt like the gap between Alabama, it seemed much larger than it actually was. I never really realized the score was close until I got down to the field for those final 5 minutes or so. I was like, holy cow, they're only down by a touchdown, but it feels like they're up by a lot more. But still, Alabama's passing offense was still very effective. I think that's what's going to get them through this weekend's game as well. Bryce Young, of course, breaking the single-game program record for most passing yards this past week. As far as Alabama falling to 3, I do think that part of that is because of C.J. Stroud's performance and Ohio State, surging late here in the season. But I think also that's also kind of a way for the committee to set up the Alabama-Georgia game, and that number 2 Alabama faces the number 1 Georgia team. Alabama loses. It's a lot harder to fall from 2 out of the playoff race if that's the case. But if you go ahead and set up Alabama to be number 3, if they lose to Georgia, it makes it pretty obvious that Alabama falls out of the playoff. So I think that might be another reason why Alabama fell. I don't think it's just because of Ohio State playing so well. But once again, it's 3 of the 4 teams that we're used to seeing. I'm also interested to see how if Cincinnati actually finishes 4, or if they're going to be some late performances that get them knocked out. It's going to be a lot of interesting things happening in the next couple of weeks.
I don't even if we say okay, let's have Alabama beat Georgia, in that in the SEC championship game. So I still think that Georgia's in the mix, obviously. So then there's Alabama and Georgia there, and let's say the Big Ten champion has 1 loss. If it comes down to the Big 12 champion with 1 loss, Oklahoma State wins Bedlam, beats Baylor. They've finished with 3 or 4 wins against ranked teams and finished strong against ranked teams. Oklahoma, if they beat Oklahoma State in back-to-back weeks, I don't know how that doesn't look better than anything Cincinnati could do, even beating Houston in the American Championship with, Houston being, at the bottom of the top 25 or so right now. So I think if I'm a Cincinnati fan, I'm looking over my shoulder at that Big 12 deal, and I want to see what happens there. I think that's the one where they could get boat raced a little bit.
No, I think so too. Cincinnati, while they've had an incredible season, they still just don't have any wins to show for it. I mean, they do have the Notre Dame victory, but they've had some really close wins against teams that really should have been blowouts. That the rest of the top 3, including Alabama, would have just absolutely decimated. I mean, I think back to I believe it was the Navy game that was really close, and that just doesn't look good if you're a team that's vying for a playoff spot. But yeah, I think Cincinnati should be 4 for now. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Michigan beat Ohio State, which is highly unlikely. But if we see that happen, seeing them fall, it's just the Big 12 conundrum is just another issue. I don't see Oklahoma flying up from 10 and taking a top 4 spot. I think it's a little too late for them.
Even if they beat Oklahoma State twice, I mean, it's 2 wins against the top 10 team.
I'm not saying they wouldn't be deserving of being top 4, but they're currently ranked 10th. And even though they only have 1 loss, seeing them jump from 10 to 4 over 2 weeks, that would be a huge leap for them to be able to accomplish. I think they would be more deserving, but that would be quite a late surge. And that loss for them still just doesn't look good for them right now.
You say Cincinnati, probably deserves to be 4, deserves or better than. Do you think if Cincinnati and Michigan were playing in the middle of the country, neutral field, I mean, Michigan's like a 7 or 8 point favorite, I think, in that game. I would think.
Oh, absolutely. but unfortunately, at the end of the day, they have the 1 more win, so that's how they got there in the first place.
Right. Yeah. And that's always going to be that issue of deserving. That's why I am in favor of expansion, but not super expansion. I'm not in favor of 12. I like 8. Give me the 5 champs of the Power 5s. I think if you win a Power 5, you deserve an automatic bid. And then give me the highest ranked out of the group of 5, assuming that they're in the top 12, let's say. And then you got 2 wild cards to fix an upset, in the in a championship game. You're not going to have 5 upsets in championship games. You might get a couple of them, and you could fix it and still put a particular team in. It would be interesting to see. All right, so you mentioned Alabama. Their passing game carries them this week, most likely at the Iron Bowl. I think they would have to be -2 or 3 in the turnovers to lose the game. Just don't get the feeling that Auburn can score, and with TJ Finley at quarterback, I'm trying to figure out how they score and whether or not they'll be able to throw the ball effectively like Arkansas did. What's your biggest concern?
Well, if Auburn wants to win this game, primarily it is going to have to come through the pass. I think Alabama's run defense is really solid. They've really kind of stepped it up a notch these past 2 weeks. People forget that Arkansas is the number 6 rushing team in the country prior to last week, and they were able to hold them to 110 yards and just 1 rushing touchdown. So Arkansas was able to run all over them early in the game, but that slowed down as the game went on. So Tate Bixby has had a stellar season. I believe he's 5th in the SEC right now in rushing yards. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. And I expect he's going to have to definitely step up if Auburn's to win this game. But back to the passing game, I think that's the key matchup. How does TJ Finley survive against Alabama's defensive backs? If he's able to do well, which we all know that Auburn's able to pull out some magic, especially down on the plains. If he's able to perform well, then the game could really be a close one. But if Alabama's defensive backs and secondary are able to shut him down, then there really isn't, I don't think, much hope for Auburn. So I think that's the key matchup, is how does TJ Finley respond to Alabama secondary and vice versa. I think that's going to be the key matchup heading into this weekend's game.
And the basketball team now in the top 10. Iona tomorrow. Iona's not going to give them a hard time, are they?
You'd be surprised. They gave Dados even pointed out, that they played each other in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And
I know.
They're only up by one point. It was very close. Granted, Hinkle Fieldhouse was not kind to Alabama in their 2 trips there in the NCAA tournament. But Iona's, they're coached by Rick Pitino. They're a very well-coached team. They lost a couple of guys last year, but they brought in some transfers, and they have a really talented roster. I think Alabama wins this game, but I think it is going to be a fight. It's hard to put Rick Pitino down, especially early, and he'll definitely come out winning.
Always a pleasure. Joey, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Appreciate you so much. And are you going to be in Orlando, by the way, for that?
I won't be in Orlando, unfortunately, but I will be covering the game afar. So if everybody tune into Bama Central, we'll have live updates going and game coverage. So be sure to stick around there.
All right, man. Good stuff. Have a happy Thanksgiving, man, and we'll look forward to talking again.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you.
All right, it's Joey Blackwell from BamaCentral.com. All right, we'll get a break, and then we'll come back. We might have a minute to get a phone call in on the other side if you want to get in on this turkey fecta. We'll do it next right here. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Thom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. And while placing a custom factory order is a smart way to save big and get exactly what you want, it's not suited for everybody. Right now, during our year-end sales event, choose from the best selection we've had in months of 2021 F-150, Explorer, and Edge. These Fords are on the ground and ready for your driveway. Woody Anderson Ford has financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on most 21 models, and 22 Edge has up to $2,000 in bonus cash. If you're like me, you've seen more and more Bronco Sports running the roads in Huntsville and Madison. Come take one for a test drive and you'll see why folks rave about it. It's Woody Anderson Ford's year-end sales event with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $2,000 in bonus cash, and it all ends November 30th. Come in to Woody Anderson Ford. We're America's best-selling brand. Woody Anderson Ford, corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Jesus tells us to go the second mile. Well, sometimes it's hard enough to go the first mile. But when the Lord is number one in our lives, we not only go the first mile, but we embrace the second mile. We can talk all we want about Jesus and how important he is to us, but we show it in the second mile. In the second mile, the world is changed. In the second mile, the difference is made. In the second mile, the lost world sees Christ in us. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet and Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet and Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet and Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands. Or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little warmer today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Highs hanging out in the mid and upper 50s. Some of us could actually touch the lower 60s. I expect an increase in cloud cover as we head into the later part of the evening through the overnight. Therefore, temperatures really aren't going to fall off that much. Thanksgiving morning, we're starting the day in the upper 30s and lower 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Today we have your TransPerfect Music City Bowl Turkey Fecta for you. 4 big games, rivalry games in college football. Each one is worth a point. And if you hit all 4, I'm giving you 8 points. I'm doubling your points. So 4 games, you hit 4 games. You hit 3, you get 3 points. 2, you get 2 points. You hit all 4, you get 8 points. Dale is up next. Dale, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I am fantastic.
How did I do last week in the trifecta? I think I only missed I thought I only missed one game, but I didn't know.
You may have, but you missed one of the first 3 games, so you don't get any points for that. But you are on the board with 8 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew I know Auburn. I shouldn't have took Auburn, even though I'm an Auburn fan. They made me so mad, but yeah, I didn't want to.
Yeah, that was one of the first 3 games.
Before we get into this, I'm sorry to hear about Cecil.
Yeah.
I mean, even as an Auburn fan, I still read some of his articles. He was a great writer, so I mean, I still like reading his stuff. So.
Never heard him say a disrespectful thing about Auburn. I mean, I'm talking about off the air, in the press box. There's not like he wasn't one of those guys that would like diss Auburn or anything. He was very respectful.
I never heard him say anything bad about him, even when he's on the show. Talking about this, that, or other. He always gave him praise. So
yeah,
that's the type of people I like listening to. Like, I don't bash nobody. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't like listening to the radio guys who are homers and just bash the other teams. I can't listen to those shows.
All right, give me this before
let me get in here before we had to go to break.
Ole Miss plus 1.5.
Ole Miss.
Joey Freshwater.
Ohio State minus 8.5.
Ohio State.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I'll take the Suckeyes.
Oklahoma plus 3.5 at Okie State.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the home team.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Everybody's taking Oklahoma State. Alabama minus 19.5 at your Tigers.
Well, I'm going to take Alabama because maybe that way Auburn will win. So I'm just going to do it that way. I don't think we got
everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
Yeah, nobody knows.
I don't think we got a shot in, you know what, of winning, but I mean, maybe it'll work out that way. So that's why I'm going to do that.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much.
You too.
You too. All right, I know we got to get to the break, right, Chris? I mean, can I get Grumpy in? Can I get him? Can you fix it? Okay. Grumpy, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, pretty good, man. Let me ask you this real quick. I think Mississippi State's got the best run defense in the nation behind Georgia. I'm going to the Egg Bowl, by the way. If it's going to be raining like that, if it's going to be raining like that, I mean, can Mississippi State still sling the ball? I mean, it's going to be, believe it or not, man, I think it's going to be a slobber knocker, low-scoring game in that rain. Nobody's going to be able to run.
It depends on what kind of rain it is. If it's not real windy, you can still throw the ball in the rain. The defenders are falling down and everything else. So they do have, Mississippi State does have a nice run defense. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Their rush defense is 7th in the entire nation. But the Ole Miss rush offense is 6th in the nation. So this is a strength-on-strength kind of thing. The difference is that they chuck it around pretty good in a passing offense too. So, it'll be interesting with both teams whether or not they can throw it at all. Mississippi State doesn't even want to try to run it. So I don't know what they do if they don't even want to try to run the ball. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, and let me say, I didn't kill that I would never kill a bobcat. I sent you some pictures.
I saw that.
It was it got this little acreage on the parkway, and it was actually right on the parkway. It had gotten hit, but that thing measured 49 inches from tip to tip. That's a huge bobcat, man. When you stretch them out,
big bobcat.
Let me get Auburn. No. Let me get Alabama because Auburn's not any good this year.
All right.
Let me get Mississippi State because they got the second best run defense in the nation.
All right.
Let me get Oklahoma State because Oklahoma sucks.
Okay.
And what was the last one?
Ohio State and Michigan. That other game.
Ohio State because they got the best team in the country this year.
There you go. All right, we got you in.
Thanks, brother.
Certainly playing like the best team in the country right now. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back. And coming up, Allan Bell Jr. from CBS Sportsline. We'll get his thoughts on these games as well on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Switching season is here at WOW. Get gig speed internet for just $64.99 a month at wowway.com. Plus, get a year of HBO Max included and $300 on us. Wow. After the promotional period, HBO Max will auto-renew at then prevailing rate. Limited to new customers with auto-pay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, the Cowboys expect to have tackle Tyron Smith return from an ankle injury for their Thanksgiving Day game against the Raiders. The injuries kept him out the last 3 games. Dallas hoping receiver CeeDee Lamb will clear concussion protocol in time so he can play. Running back Ezekiel Elliott, dealing with a minor knee injury the last few weeks, expects to be good to go. Receiver Amari Cooper won't play. He's on the COVID list, is unvaccinated, so he can't return until November 28th at the earliest. NBA, another injury for the injury-plagued Nuggets to deal with. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the team fears guard P.J. Dozier suffered a torn ACL during last night's loss to the Trailblazers. Initial imaging suggests that his season might be over. He'll undergo further evaluation today. Denver currently without the injured Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. The team hoping MVP Nikola Jokic can soon return from a wrist injury.
Football season is here.
Javier Arias is going to take it to the house. 80 yards. Touchdown, Alabama.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show here on a hump day that feels like a football Friday because this is it for us. I mean, we're done after this, and we will just soak up the time with our family. We will soak up time playing turkey bowls in the yard. We will soak up time playing cards at night. If you're my family with my sons and my sons-in-law, we get together, play a little poker. We will have a good time by all. And I just saw Chad Gwathney's the back of Chad's hoodie, which has got like a name on it and a number 22. What's the name? Oh, it says his name. It says Gwathney. It doesn't say Grizz. It says Gwathney on it. That is really cool, Chad.
I got that as a present.
Hoodie.
I got that as a present one year. Yeah, it's one of my favorite hoodies. Seriously, it's a really nice Falcons hoodie. I mean,
I've never seen that before.
Name.
Why 22? Why the number 22?
That was always one of my favorite numbers as a kid playing baseball.
That was my my son's my oldest son's number 2 because
I was always a Braves number. So 22 for Marcus Giles, number 10 obviously for Chipper Jones, and then from time to time I would be probably between, because I was like one of the smallest kids, but so I always bat lead off.
Right.
I was always number 1, right?
Yeah.
So like I had to be number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
So it was either 20. I liked 2, so 22 was great because I was a big Braves guy. And then 10, I remember when I was on the All-Star minor leagues or whatever for our league, and we won the whole championship. And of course, I was number 10, so I had to be Chipper Jones. So that was always my number.
Well, Allan Bell Jr. joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline from CBS Sportsline. AB, what was your number? Is there a number that you associate with? Like you say, he's 22. Me, it's 53. It was always just my number was 53. What would be your number?
Well, first off, Big Dog, appreciate you having me back. Yeah, 53. Look, hey, you were a headhunter, baby. Linebacker.
Yeah.
I was always number 20 in baseball and football. Yeah, number 20 for me.
Yeah, I wore 24 in baseball, and but 53 was the number I always most associated with. That was my football number, and yeah, I went. I mean, back in the day, I went both ways. No, we didn't. I did not play when you would fold your helmet up and put it in your back pocket when you walked off the field. It wasn't that long ago. We actually had regular helmets and face masks and everything. But I actually went both ways. I played center, and then I played kind of a hybrid linebacker line type of spot. So, yeah, 53 fit me well. Big weekend of football. I mean, it just keeps coming in waves. They got the MAC action going on now, but you also got, obviously with Thursday, 3 big NFL games in the Egg Bowl, and then it rolls right through Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday. I mean, this is a glorious time right now for football.
Oh yeah, this has been an awesome weekend for football, and you're right. I love that we have it. Just coming at you in all different ways, right? So we've got 3 games NFL on Thursday. We've got college football. And you're right, man. It just goes all the way throughout the weekend. So it's going to be fantastic, man. Like, obviously, happy Thanksgiving to you guys and to everybody out there. Get to eat, get to watch some football, hang out with family. It's a fantastic weekend for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It starts with kind of a dud tomorrow, the Bears and Lions. But it's still the Lions. I mean, are we at the point where we can't have the Lions hosting Thanksgiving Day, or is it just too dang traditional in the NFL that no matter how bad they are, and even if they're bringing in a bad opponent this year in the Bears, that we've got to have the Lions at home on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, you bring up an interesting question, right? And I was thinking about this with Daniel Jones on Monday night when they're like, all right, he's now 0-8 in primetime. It's like, okay, well, let's stop putting him on primetime. All right, I'm tired of seeing it. But with the Lions, like, I just feel so bad for their fan base. Like, they just have nothing good going on. So I defer to them. Like, if they want to be on Thanksgiving, give it to them. Like, they've got nothing else going on for them, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's tradition. And it's going to be a weird game. Like, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be pretty at all. And they might win this one. Andy Dalton's starting to get quarterback for Chicago, so that'd be pretty cool if they pulled off their first win.
I feel like that gives Chicago a better chance to win a game, Andy Dalton. I mean, all the talk about Justin Fields being the next unicorn and all this stuff has kind of quieted down. He has been very, very disappointing. And I know this is not a great Chicago team, but weren't they in the playoffs last year? I mean, didn't Mitch Trubisky play better than this in his first few years, with Chicago? Yep. And, I was very skeptical of Justin Fields all along, and I still am. He has these little moments, but so did Vince Young, and so did RG3. I'm not sure that he isn't, doing games in like 3 or 4 years either, like RG3 is.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, man. Like, he has not looked well at all. And you look at, all the rookie quarterbacks. Let's take Mac Jones out of it. He's the opposite side, of this conversation. But, we saw Trey Lance in San Francisco, and he looked pretty good. But, he had a good head coach in Kyle Shanahan, before the injury, that, he kind of limited and played to his strengths, right? And I don't know what Justin Fields' strengths are, except for getting out of the pocket. Like, the kid can run, and he could put a couple passes up, when he's on the run. You mentioned Vince Young. But, Vince Young could throw from the pocket, too, right? Like, I mean, right. It all went downhill at the end. But, yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, Justin Fields, I don't know what his value is. And if he is not with just an absolute perfect stud team, man, I don't know how good I don't know how long he's going to last.
The problem with Vince Young always was he just didn't have the brain for it. I mean, he couldn't read multiple routes. There were issues that he had with that stuff. I was close to that coaching staff, and they would tell me a lot of stuff about it, and I'd go on the air and I'd be talking about read routes, and then I'd get a phone call from Mike Heimerdinger after the show, and he says, "Are you kidding me? A read route?" He goes, "I got to tell him what number guy to throw it to." Forget a read route. I got to tell him throw it to 84. You know what I mean? That's the, there's no over under stuff. There's no reading anything. There's just nothing.
I love that Dinger would call you like that. Like it tells you that. You know what I mean? Like that's fantastic. It's awesome.
Well, at one time during the show, he texted me. I was talking about because the players would tell me they would walk around in the locker room, and if they went by the coach's office, my show would be on because my show was on after practice. I was 3 to 6 then, and they would walk by and they would hear my my voice coming out of the coach's office, and the coaches listened to the show. And one time I was bitching about Chris Johnson not being out at number 1 more often. I'm like, I'd flex that guy out and put him at number 1. And Dinger would text me during the show, "You dumbass, I did have him at number 1 3 times. Weren't you watching the game?" Good-naturedly busting my chops. But when he didn't get the head coaching job at the Titans, when Munchak got it and he didn't get it, he was really wanted that job after Jeff left. He calls me up and he says, meet me in Franklin at the what was it called? Beef O'Brady's. They had a Beef O'Brady's in Spring Hill. Meet me at the Spring Hill Beef O'Brady's. I said, okay, fine. So I meet him there, and he gets out of his pickup truck, and he opens up the back of his pickup truck, and he hands me 2 huge boxes of unopened Tennessee Titan coaching gear. I mean, Reebok shoes, like 3 or 4 pairs of Reebok shoes. The boxes are still in the box. The rain suits that are $300 or $400 rain suits, Reebok with the Titan. I had so much Titans gear. I gave it to my sons. I gave the shoes to my son-in-laws and stuff like that. So, that was the kind of deal.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. But and my daughter worked at a company. She worked at Jeff Fisher's management company. It was TriStar or 5-Star TriStar. She worked at Jeff, and when Jeff left and ended up taking the St. Louis job, she was one of the agents that went to his house and helped gather up all his stuff to ship out of there. And Jeff told her, give your dad these hats, and he gave me some of the Titan hats and stuff.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. Is there a betting edge with Detroit on Thanksgiving Day? I feel like they always play better than they are at home on Thanksgiving Day. Is there an actual – has anybody ever looked that up and see if there's an actual edge there. They're getting 3 points at home, but it feels like they play a little better at home on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, there are some, but I mean, you look at it, there's some Thanksgiving trends, that have gone on in terms of, you look at Thanksgiving since 2004, favorites are 34-14 against the spread, 71%. Road favorites since 2004 are 18-4 against the spread, 82%.
Which is Chicago.
In terms of, yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of the Lions, not really. The interesting part is that the Lions have lost a lot of games. Let me say that straight up. But, in terms of betting, I don't have that in front of me. But I will say this, the fascinating thing is that all 6 teams playing on Thanksgiving are coming off of a loss. All of them. It's fascinating. So we've got some decent games, in terms of where, the spread and the finale is going to be, so to say. So it might not be the prettiest football, but in terms of betting, yeah, it's going to be tight, man. It's going to be a good day in terms of that.
Well, the other road favorite is Buffalo, who goes to New Orleans as a 5.5, 6-point favorite in what is maybe the best of the 3 games. You look at that one. Buffalo's 6-4. I mean, we were talking about them 3, 4, 5 weeks into the season as being far and away the best team in the AFC. The Titans are in that 1 seed right now, but that crown's resting uneasy right now. We'll get to them in a moment. But, Buffalo going into New Orleans, laying those kind of points at night, short week at New Orleans, I'm not sure that they're not getting tagged again.
Yeah, I know. And, you talk about this all the time in terms of football, all right? Being a balanced football team on both sides is where you want to be. That is the ideal, okay? And Buffalo is the most unbalanced team in terms of their offense. They don't run the ball at all.
They didn't try.
Brian Dable, exactly. Now, Brian Dable, their OC, is fantastic. He can light you up, right, if everything's going the right way. But if Josh Allen starts, throwing a couple picks, like they did against Indianapolis, buddy, it goes south in a hurry, in an absolute hurry. So it's so difficult to bet on them or even just pick winners with them because you just don't know what you're going to get. What you're going to have is either the Bills win by 30 or lose by 30. There's seemingly no in between. But the tough part for the Saints is that you've got Trevor Siemian, no Alvin Kamara. They're a hurt team right now.
Isn't that the way it is in the AFC, though? You just don't know what you're going to get. You get the Titans beating 5 straight playoff teams from last year and then losing to a 1-8 Texans team. And it was scary because this was a little bit of what people thought they might look like without Derrick Henry. And I don't know how the Texans were able to offensively do some of the things that they had done. Of course, they were off of a bye as well. So now, in a game that was supposed to pit the 2 teams with the 2 longest winning streaks in the NFL, that's gone. It's just New England. And the Titans are getting 6.5 at a place that has been a house of horrors for them.
Oh, this one's going to be bad. And let me tell you this. Look, what happened against Houston is that the Titans, their coaching staff needs to figure out who this team is. And the last 2 weeks before that, without Derrick Henry, the offenses looked exactly the same. They just had the defense spotting them 21 points against the Rams and against the Saints. When that doesn't happen, you're in trouble. And they weren't taking their field goals in the first half. They were going for it on 4th down, playing the high-risk game, and it cost them. Here's the problem going into New England. And go back to the Browns game, okay? 2 weeks ago, what did the Browns come in with? No run game due to COVID. The week after that, the Falcons come into New England without what? A run game because Cordell Patterson was injured. All right? What this is, the formula is simple for New England. You come in one-dimensional and you leave zero-dimensional. And the Titans are coming in without a run game. So Belichick is going to sit back and take away Ryan Tannehill's passing game and say, you know what, you're going to have to beat us with Dontrell Hilliard and whoever you got back there. You don't have Adrian Peterson anymore. Good luck, buddy. And we talk about balance. The New England Patriots are the most balanced team in the NFL right now. They are playing unbelievable football. And I'll tell you this, their offense leads the NFL right now in scoring. Their defense leads the NFL in scoring. Offense putting up 35 points per game average. Defense only giving up 10 points per average. This is a bad matchup for Tennessee.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And, the Adrian Peterson thing kind of ends with a thud. I think he had about 80 yards and a couple of touchdowns for the Titans. And they bring in Golden Tate. What's the expectation there? I mean, I didn't even know Golden Tate was still around. I mean, I know he's a Nashville kid, so that's kind of cool. But what is the what are they expecting to get out of Golden Tate?
You can't have any expectation. I mean, Golden Tate it's done. It's over, right? Like, I mean, if he gets hit one time, he's going to be finished. I don't even know if he makes it to the active roster, at any point. Like, I would have zero expectation, and that's nothing against the guy. He's a super nice guy, but man, yeah, that goes to show you where the Titans are right now in terms of their injury report.
Yeah. I think the Egg Bowl is the most intriguing game tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'll end up watching more of that than I would watching the Bills and the Saints. And I know that, that the Mississippi State is a great passing attack. They don't run the ball at all. They're pretty good against the run. But Ole Miss, I'm trying to figure out, I feel like the wrong team is favored. I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting points with Ole Miss. I may be totally wrong.
No. I asked the same question. And yesterday we saw it. Ole Miss was a 1-point favorite yesterday morning, and it flipped, and it went all the way to Mississippi State 1.5. So I was looking at that, and I asked myself, I was like, okay, the only Mississippi State's not getting anyone back, that would move it 2.5 points, okay? The only person in this game would be Matt Corral. Like, is he not playing? And if he weren't playing, it would be Mississippi State favored by 10, right? So I can't figure out why the line movement, but I'll say this. With Lane Kiffin having Matt Corral up for a Heisman, okay, one, he is going to let that kid rip. Whatever he wants to do, they are going to play aggressive to the very end. And number two, Lane Kiffin knows that if he gets Matt Corral in that Heisman room, and possibly if he wins it, he's doing nothing but trying to recruit Arch Manning, and that is going to be a massive feather in his cap to get him. So I'm with you. I'm going with Ole Miss because we will see Lane Kiffin coach as aggressive as he has since, playing against Alabama last year in this one, because he will be doing everything he can to win this game.
Well, it will be interesting to see, if he were to get a commitment from Arch Manning, is Lane Kiffin committed to being at Ole Miss in 2023? He may not be there. He may be, and, Arch may want to stay in state. You can go to LSU if Lane Kiffin is there. He may want to go to Florida if Lane Kiffin was there, which I don't think he will be. I know Texas is in play because the kid likes Steve Sarkisian. Alabama's always in play. So it's kind of a weird time for Lane Kiffin because his name is going to be coming up for other jobs that are sexier even than the Ole Miss job, and yet here is this 900-pound gorilla in Arch Manning.
Yep, no, you're exactly right. And, credit to the Manning family, for not pushing the kid one way or the other, saying, you know what, you make your decision, go on all your visits, and pick the best place for you. But you're right in terms of Lane Kiffin. And, he's going to have these jobs looking right now, in terms of an LSU or a Florida, and then who knows what would open up, after next year. I'm with you, man. It's super fascinating, especially that guy, like him, Lane Kiffin, of course, there's craziness surrounding it.
Yeah, no doubt. Saturday, a couple of huge games as well, rivalry games. Ohio State is laying 8.5 to Michigan. At Michigan, Jim Harbaugh does not have a history of winning these games. There's no doubt winning any game against a top-ranked team. And Ohio State looks like they are peaking right now. They're playing their best football of the year right now. That number seems a little light.
Yeah, it seems super light. So if Ohio State looks anything like they did last week, good luck. Because the hard part for Michigan is that if they get down by 14 points, they run the ball. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to, lightning quick strike and get themselves back in the game. And you get down by 14, 17 points, buddy, this was over. So, yeah, it's impossible for me to take points with Michigan, with it being, below 10. Yeah, I got to ride Ohio State here.
Yeah. And then, of course, Iron Bowl, 19.5. I mean, I was on Arkansas last week. They did hang around. It didn't feel like the game was in jeopardy, but they did hang around. Can Auburn hang around? I mean, can they throw the ball at all? They're going to have a hard time running it, I think, against that Alabama defense. Alabama's going to throw it for 1,000,000 yards again. Do they have – I mean, we just saw them score 17 points against South Carolina. How do they score enough points to keep even within a big number like 19.5?
Yeah, first off, let's say that it's a big number, for a rivalry game, no matter where the two teams are. But I think you just nailed it right there. Alabama's going to score as many points as they want to score. They're going to throw for as many yards as they want to. They're going to do everything that they want to do. But how long do they want to do it? You know what I mean? If they're up, big at the end of the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter, right? do you start pulling guys? Because you got an SEC championship, you got a college football playoff where, those things lined up in front of you. Yeah, man, this was tough. I think I'd take Auburn with the point just because of the number, not even Auburn. But, man, I could see this being the one where Alabama just goes out and just throttles them. I really could. So this was difficult. I'll take the points, but I could be very wrong here in admitting that before the games even kick off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you do a tremendous job. Allan Bell Jr.'s been, yeah, there you go. Now I'm giving you a new name, Allan Bell Jr. I had a guy named Allan Black. He used to come on the show and handicap games back in Florida. Allan Bell Jr. has been our guy. CBS Sportsline is where you'll find him. Does a tremendous job there. AB, have a great weekend and a great holiday, and I appreciate you jumping on with us today.
Oh, you and Grizz as well. Thank you so much for having me, and everybody listening. Yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate y'all as well. Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you. Allan Black. Moulton knows who, not Steve Moulton. David Moulton knows who Allan Black is. Moulton was Allan Black was a dude that we had on the show on a regular basis back in the day. He would do my traffic and weather when I was a morning show guy in Florida back in 2001. This is what happens when you're multitasking, Grizz. I'm over here like you are. You're over there multitasking. I'm talking and I'm multitasking. I'm sending stuff to North Alabama Mortgage. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. And next thing you know, I'm calling a guy, Allan Black, who I haven't seen or heard from in 18 years.
It happens. We all have our slips.
Especially when you get my age. Especially when you're got this tooth about ready to... Peroxide, huh? That's what Bama Joel said.
Bama Joel said peroxide.
So. I'm gonna hold off on the peroxide in my
scared?
mouth. I'm just gonna. Yeah. I mean, I put whiskey in there before I put the peroxide in there. I think I got a better chance of surviving that. All right, phone lines go open the rest of the way. Line them up now. This is the Turkey Fecta. This is the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl Turkey Fecta. Your chance to get major points on the Grand Trifecta big board here as we get closer and closer to the end of this deal. Your chance to win the VIP package at the Music City Bowl, at the very least win food at Champy's and tickets to a Havoc game for winning this week. I've got 4 rivalry college football games here. You hit them all, you get 8 points. You hit 1, 2, or 3, you get 1, 2, 3 points. Hit them all, you get 8 points. Jump in now. 256-576-4977. We'll come back. We'll take calls on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
For all those upcoming get-togethers, get the Black Friday savings you can always count on from Bob Wallace Appliance on the brands you know and trust. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, and more. All 3 locations. Huntsville, Florence, Coleman, and at BobWallaceAppliance.com.
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. Right, Madeline?
Bob Wallace Appliance, where we service what we sell.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Eating the last slice of pumpkin pie? Power move. Buying your own gifts? Power move. Switching to super fast internet from WOW with speeds up to 1 gig? Power move. Get Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month and your first month free. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at wowway.com today. Wow. Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Back, Thom Abraham Show. a Football Friday on a Wednesday. A turkey fecta with 4 big college rivalry games. Ole Miss getting 1.5 at Mississippi State, Ohio State -8.5 at Michigan, Oklahoma +3.5 at Oklahoma State, and the Iron Bowl, of course, Alabama -19.5 at Auburn. And remember, in this one here, you get a point for every one you get right, which means, it's going to take me a little time. I'll have all day Sunday, I guess, to grade these because we get a lot of them that come in via the text window. But you get a point for every game you get right. And if you get all 4 games right, I'm giving you 8 points. The lead right now, by the way, is 5. That's the lead. Now, we don't know that Matthew Martinez, who is in the lead with 5 points, isn't going to hit 3 of these games or all of these games. Shane, Sean, and Badger Larry are in second at 4. Haven't heard from either one yet. Wolverine Dan, unless they're in the text window. In the text window, I just throw them in a file. So don't get nervous. If Garrett in Pittsburgh has already sent it to me via the text window, and I say I haven't, I don't have his yet, don't get nervous because I don't look at the entire text window to see. But Wolverine Dan, North Dakota Dave, Mr. Brown, Garrett, Kramer, Big John, Auburn Mike, they all have a couple of points. Tyler, Sparty, Brandon, who was a one-and-doner, Mad Plumber, Jason, Ed, Dale, Shane and Decatur, and Brandon the chauffeur.
All right.
Our Brandon the chauffeur. We should give him a handle. Bama Brandon. Tuscaloosa Brandon. The Road Warrior Brandon. The dog chauffeur. How about the dog hauler? The dog hauler Brandon, since he hauled me and my crew from the mall down to the stadium on Saturday. Dog hauler Brandon has got 1. So a lot of room to do some damage here. Let's go to the lines. Is Brian a newbie? Brian, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yes, sir. I actually go by Caleb's my middle name, but yes, I had first-time caller.
Well, let me get Rick out of the corner. He hangs out in our studio. He gets very excited every time we got a first-time caller. Tell us about something about you, Brian. You roll with the Tide. You War Eagle. Where are you at?
No, I'm a Auburn grad, and
okay.
Just glad to hear it. But out of all the people you listed earlier, Wolverine Dan is the only one that I'm really worried about.
In terms of on the list here, in terms of picking games?
On the points-wise, yeah, man, you got to worry about that guy. He comes out of left field. He's like a
one year he won like
kicker.
Yeah, 1 year, right. 1 year he won like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. He kept hitting the trifecta. I was like, damn, I got to start betting this guy's picks. So
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. I
was just trying to get in on the rivalry games.
All right, so Ole Miss gets 1.5 at Starkville.
I'll take Mississippi State.
We're pathetic. We're a bunch of pathetic front runners.
You're one of the few that have taken them
so far.
I just
think it's going to be a lot closer game. I know 1.5 isn't a whole lot, but just watching what they did to Auburn a couple weeks ago,
right.
I feel like there's a lot of distractions there going on with Ole Miss. And, yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
I mean, they got the number 2 passing offense in the country. 390 yards a game they throw the ball for. They don't run the ball at all. They don't even try to run the ball at all. It's 62 yards on the ground. Weather could be a factor in this game. Their total offense is, at 452 yards a game is 21st in the country. Ole Miss, they're so balanced. Ole Miss runs the ball for 231, throws it for 286, 517 yards, 5th in the country. Ole Miss scores more points, but Mississippi State does have a good rushing defense and a better defense probably overall. They have a better defense. So it's going to be really now by the yards. The Mississippi State is clearly the better defense, 325 to 428. Ole Miss gives up 100 more yards a game. But check this out. By points, Ole Miss gives up 25.5 points. Mississippi State gives up 24.7 points. They're almost identical, which means I think Ole Miss has had some big leads where people get some garbage yards. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to that game. Ohio State is -8.5 at Michigan.
I think that's the easiest bet to make this weekend. Ohio State.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I'll take the Suckeyes.
Yeah, I agree with you and Wolverine Dan on that one. So
10, 14 points at least.
Yeah. Oklahoma, this one, everybody's on Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Stillwater.
I want to take Oklahoma State.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! I'm a man. I'm 40.
But that's one of those that makes me nervous.
Everybody's on Oklahoma State. I mean, everybody so far, the ones that have come on the air, every single pick has been for Oklahoma State. And Alabama at your Tigers. Alabama's minus 19.5.
It's in Jordan-Hare, and there has been, I mean, Lord knows if anything crazy is going to happen, it's going to happen in Jordan-Hare. How many points are they getting?
19.5. One less point than Arkansas got. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to bet on. But honestly, I hate to say it, I'm going to have to put it on the Tide.
Oh,
I just don't think with Bo Nix being out, and I've been wanting to start TJ Finley almost all year, but I think they're going to get a heavy dose of Tank Bigsby, and I just don't. I don't see Auburn putting up a whole lot of points.
I'm here.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting if Auburn can use whatever's left of their offense, whether or not they can use that to keep Alabama off the field. I mean, I think that's the big key is to try and limit Alabama's possessions. You know, don't let them have the ball more than twice a quarter. You know, that type of thing. Have some long drives. That's their hope to keep it close. Because if Alabama's on the field, they're scoring. You know, I mean, it's going to be that way. The defensive backfield. Now, maybe the Auburn front seven can get after them a little bit. I think they're going to have to take some risks. I think they're going to head and that has been the thing that has hurt Alabama is people bringing 6, 7, bring more than they can block. Alabama doesn't want to keep anybody in the block. You know, they'll keep a back end sometimes, but there are so many times in that pro-looking set where they're 5 guys and empty. Bring 6, bring more than they can block and try and get after them that way. You also take the risk of getting burned. The problem is your DBs aren't really good enough probably to hang with those Alabama receivers, but you got to take a shot. Nothing ventured, nothing gained in this case, I think.
I think their best bet is moving Smoke Monday around like they like to and then bring him off the edge. And unless we get some miracles like, what was that interception that bounced off of the back of Najee Harris's head and they run that back, I just don't see them. I think it'll be competitive to a point. But Auburn has kind of shown, especially over the last 4 games, they're not adjusting that well during halftime.
As an Auburn fan, let me just ask you before I let you go. As an Auburn fan, if it's 6-6, and you're looking at the recruiting class that you got coming in, which you know right now is not very good, how is your overall assessment and feeling of your head coach and your coaching staff situation?
Oh, he just needs time. That's the thing is that I'm not one of those guys that after 1 or 2 seasons, let's get rid of the guy. I think at least give him 4, maybe 5 years, just to let his full recruiting class come in and see how we can do from there.
Yeah. See, my concern isn't the 6-6. My concern is more. My concern is the recruiting. That's the bigger issue. You know, right now that they're 13th out of 14 in the SEC, it's like, okay, I get that the on-field was going to struggle a little bit maybe, but, man, you can't be down at the bottom of the SEC in recruiting. You're Auburn, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I agree. But, the biggest worry for me is wide receivers and offensive line. But, with Jarquez Hunter right there as a freshman, Tank has still got another year. Bo's got another year if he does come back.
He has to.
There's, I'm not. I guess outside of that, also, I do worry about the secondary. So now you've kind of talked me out of my own opinion here.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. All right, man. I appreciate you. Don't be a stranger on the show, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Keith. the Michigan fan. Keith, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing all right, big dog. How about you?
I am fantastic.
As usual. Hey, I'm calling to get the picks. Now, I got to get at least 1 point. I refuse to go the whole year without having at least 1 point.
Well, if you can't hit one of these games, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I know it.
I mean, at some point. All right, so Ole Miss gets 1.5 at State.
Let's go with Ole Miss.
I've been so on Ole Miss all week. I'm going to feel bad if they lose, and I feel like I dragged everybody down with me. All right, Ohio State -8.5 at your Wolverines.
Well, this is why they call it the greatest rivalry in college sports.
No.
Michigan, we got to do it. The defense, it's kind of hard to throw the ball when you land on your back. So that defense, we got 2 top defensive ends, both going to the pros. Got a great linebacker, Ross, and they got a very good one defensive back. So hopefully the coaching staff can come up with a good plan to stop them, because everybody knows Ohio State got 3 wide receivers that are going to the pros.
Yeah.
So they strike fast and often.
I don't, and I say this, and I'm not saying it to say anything negative about Jamison Williams. I don't know how much he would be playing right now with Michigan or with Ohio State. If he had stayed with Ohio State, I wonder just how much he would be playing with that group of receivers that they have, as good as he has looked with Alabama.
Yeah, because hey, I mean those kids, they hit you fast and often.
Yeah. I don't know about this greatest rivalry thing though anymore. I mean, how many years has it been since Michigan won the thing? Don't you have to have a little balance in the thing that
But would you believe Michigan still has maybe a 7 or 8 game lead over Ohio State in head-to-head competition?
I do believe that, because I do know that to be a fact. And I remember back when John Cooper couldn't beat him to save his life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
it's a cycle. It's a cycle. We go through it. I remember when I think it was one of the Michigan players. I can't remember the exact name, but he said, "Let's beat Ohio State so they can fire their head coach." It's like, why you say that? Ohio State beats us. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Hey, it's a rivalry. You remember the 10-year
It's a rivalry.
War?
It's a rivalry. Michigan leads it, by the way, by 7, 58-51, with 6 ties. 116 times these two teams have played, but it has been a minute. This is one of the longest, if not the longest run. I'm trying to think, maybe not. Well, I guess Michigan got them in 2011 at home.
Yeah.
So it's one. They've won one. They've won once since in this century. They've won twice.
Yeah, but this is what makes good rivalries. Michigan, we're that school to where we 30-some points favor and we lose to Appalachian State.
Mm-hmm.
The highlight is always against Michigan because they're not supposed to lose certain games, and they do.
Yeah.
Or certain things like Michigan State. All you got to do is punt the ball, and you win the game. And what he do? He kicked the ball to a Michigan State player who runs it in the end zone. We lose.
Yeah, you've had some of that, but we're going to give you –
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it, So
we'll give you the trophy on this one. We'll see how it goes. Oklahoma is plus 3.5 at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, the home of Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
It had some running backs there, that's for sure. And Alabama minus 19.5 at Auburn.
I hate the evil empire, so I'm going to go with the 19.5 points.
Go compete in pickleball if you want to.
All right, you got it, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Grizz, I don't know. Michigan, I'll always say the Iron Bowl over the Michigan-Ohio State game. Always take the Iron Bowl.
I mean,
over
even if I wasn't an Alabama and Auburn fan, and I was just a football fan from the outside, and I haven't been to obviously OSU Michigan, but that's the thing. It's about the South and this rivalry and the SEC and just how college football just dominates. And you saw just last Saturday, whether the game is at Bryant-Denny or this weekend at Jordan-Hare Stadium, not Jordan. It's an amazing feeling. It's just a weird, you get the anxiety you start getting jittery. It's just crazy. You know what I mean?
I do feel like there's more hatred in the Michigan-Ohio State game. I feel like this game is more brother on brother.
Wasn't it based off like the Toledo War or something?
Oh, I don't know.
It was like some little skirmish between. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's based off of. I know my history.
I know that Woody Hayes said that if he was recruiting in the state of Michigan and his car ran out of gas, he would push it across the border into Ohio to get gas. But see, Michigan won in the first 24 games. Michigan was 24-3. They won. They dominated the first. So right now, Michigan still has a 7-game advantage. But Michigan won 21 of the first 24 games in this deal. All right, so you got to look at it that way. And then, you look at relatively what we would call recent history. What, since 2001? Ohio State has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Michigan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 17-2 since 2001. 17-2.
Yeah.
At what point in time is a rivalry? You say, yeah, it's a big rivalry for who? Alabama Tennessee used to be a big rivalry. 15 in a row. This is almost to that point. Almost to that point. Not quite, but almost. Jason is next. Jason, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing this morning?
I am fantastic.
Good deal.
Get in?
I got your picks for you.
All right, let's do it. We start with Ole Miss getting a 1.5 at Mississippi State.
I want more cowbells.
He wants the cowbell.
We're pathetic. We're a bunch of pathetic front runners.
You got him. Ohio State minus 8.5 at Michigan.
Michigan is going to establish a running game, and they're going to cover.
It's a trophy game. It's a game that has a trophy associated to it. So,
Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Oklahoma State.
Let's go Oklahoma.
Whoa!
I've always said I'd never recruit a white quarterback.
First one to take Oklahoma. I have never seen a pick so lopsided as that one. And Alabama minus 19.5 at Auburn.
Thanks to Bo Nix, Alabama's got material, so I'm going Bama.
Everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
Come on, we know where Uncle Tommy's been. All right, Jason, we got you.
Hey, y'all have a good Thanksgiving, fella.
All right, man, you too. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, let's get one more in this segment. Let's go to Brandon, the dog hauler. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing good. I didn't realize I didn't get to give you a call Monday that I won got the trifecta right, so I figure I got to try it at least one more time.
You are on the board with 1 point. You didn't do enough to win the food and the thing. You didn't get all 4, but you were the only one to at least get 3, so you did get on the board.
It's good to be on the board.
Yeah. All right, so what do you like? Ole Miss getting a 1.5 at State.
I'll take Ole Miss.
Joey Freshwater.
Ohio State laying 8.5 at Michigan.
I'd take Ohio State laying 30.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I'll take the Buckeyes.
That's a lot of points. This is by far the most evenly split picks for you guys right now. That is the 5th pick on Ohio State. We have 5 picks on Michigan and 5 picks on Ohio State. Now, admittedly, 2 of the 5 are Wolverine Dan and Keith, the Michigan fan. But that one is split right down the middle over the air, at least. Oklahoma gets 3.5 at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma. It's hard to beat a team twice in a season, but I think Oklahoma's going to beat them again.
I've always said I'd never recruit a white quarterback.
Wait a minute. They haven't played yet. This is Bedlam. The question is, can they beat them again next week? But, they haven't played them yet this year.
For some reason, I thought they'd already played. My bad.
No, they always play the last game of the season. It's kind of like the Iron Bowl. They always play the last game of the season. And can you imagine that if the SEC didn't have divisions. Can you imagine Alabama and Auburn playing back-to-back weeks? They're having to play the Iron Bowl and then the next week playing the SEC championship game. That's what's going to happen if Oklahoma wins. If Oklahoma wins, they play Okie State again next week in the – where is it, Grizz? Is that Jerry's World, the Big 12 championship game? I think it's at Jerry's World. All right, Brandon. Bama is minus 19.5 at Auburn.
Oh, taking Bama on that one.
Yeah, I figured it.
Roll all over their ass.
Yeah, I figured. Is that Jerry's World? Is that where it is? Okay. All right,
Jordan Hare.
Jordan Hare. This one's at Jordan Hare.
Jordan Hare.
You play at Jordan Hare one week, and then play in Atlanta the next week for the SEC championship. Although I am a fan of getting rid of the divisions. That's the only thing that would be weird.
It's going to be real weird, really hard to adjust to getting rid of the divisions when it's been that way your whole life. But you were talking about the rivalry, who's bigger, Michigan, Ohio State. I'll tell you this. If Michigan and Ohio State played 2 weeks in a row, there will not be people willing to spend the amount of money to go see Michigan and Ohio State 2 weeks in a row that would be willing to spend it to see Alabama and Auburn 2 weeks in a row. And that's where you find out what you got. What people are willing to do with their pocketbook determines how big the rivalry is. And there are people that would spend more money than they can afford to go see that game twice in a row.
They'd spend it. They could play every week. They could play 12-game season against just Alabama and Auburn, and they'd go every week to that game. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just nuts. All right, Brandon, we got you in. Thanks again for hauling us around last Saturday. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, anytime. The only problem was all the women trying to jump in the truck chasing Chad. I mean, it just
that's the thing. When you got
it is what it is.
When you got Chad in that box, wrapped up in that cardboard, they're
kept the wind off me.
Can't beat that. So, all right, man. Appreciate you.
Keep it. Roll Tide. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you. All right, let's get the break and come back and wrap this sucker up right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Thom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley, and they rent equipment, all kinds of equipment, and not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public, as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come. Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
A little trash talk during the game? Yeah, we get it. Trashing the state with litter? That's not a good call. Keep it clean. Put the brakes on litter. Keep Alabama beautiful. A message from AlDOT and Keep Alabama Beautiful. Keep Alabama Beautiful is a 501(c) nonprofit organization serving the state of Alabama and believes that everyone deserves to live in a clean and healthy environment. Their vision is a clean and beautiful Alabama.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer. The promoter don't mind.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Tell you what, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. This is my favorite holiday. All right, this has always been my favorite holiday. This is the one. Christmas can get too commercialized, and there's a lot of stress with that. Apparently, there's a lot of stress while looking at the text of my children texting each other about when the game is going to be played and when's the Turkey Bowl going to be played and all of this other kind of stuff. I don't know what they're talking about, to be honest with you. They're all bent out of shape about something. I am not sure. But, to me, this is my favorite holiday. I love the dinner. I love the table. I love having everybody set up in one spot. I mean, it's absolutely tremendous. And I hope you all have safe travels if you're traveling. I got people coming in. I had a daughter fly in from San Diego. We have one child missing this year, my oldest daughter from Florida. And she is, she's great, and she would want to be here. I made it very clear to my kids that when they, got married and their spouses and everything else, that this is where Thanksgiving is. That's all I asked. You can go do whatever you want for the other holidays. This is where Thanksgiving is. And everybody has abided to that for the most part. Now, her spouse, they want to alternate. So now this year they're going to his family.
I get it.
I don't. But that's just me.
Bring the family with you.
They did last year, and they should this year. But anyway. Grizz, have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving.
You as well, sir. Happy Turkey Day, everybody.
I hope everybody is safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Love your families. Coming up next, it's Chuck Oliver Show. Paul Feinbaum. The Drive. Listen to us all holiday weekend long. We got all kinds of great stuff for you here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want.